Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Perello. I'm the Director of Career Services at the iSchool. We are going to be breezing through this webinar presentation on LinkedIn, not only how to develop a really solid LinkedIn profile, but also how to utilize those LinkedIn connections and leverage those connections in a way that's meaningful, and try to give you the best tips. So first of all, why use LinkedIn? LinkedIn became popular about 2009 is when it started becoming popular. And I'll be the first to admit that at the time, I thought it was sort of a fad. I was thinking, who's really going to use this very often? I even stopped using it in my interviewing class, but decided to bring it back once LinkedIn started getting more involved with campus. And I noticed that other companies were starting to recruit some of my friends using LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is an inevitable tool that you have to be able to leverage nowadays, especially those of you who are planning on attending the career fair. After the career fair is when you're going to start seeing a large increase in hits for your profile, and when a lot of these employers and recruiters are going to start looking at your profile. It's almost, your LinkedIn is your digital footprint, and it's almost like it's an everlasting digital business card. When you leave your resume with the recruiter at the career fair, they're going to remember to check out your LinkedIn profile. So why use LinkedIn? It is simply a virtual networking tool. It allows you to stay in touch with all of the professionals you meet on the way throughout your career. It's a robust internship and job search engine. So some of you forget that that LinkedIn is more than just a connection tool. It is a great way to try to find internships and jobs in particular geographic locations, and then to figure out who actually works at those companies or who's employed there, so that way you can connect with them and follow up with them as well. And more than anything, it's an online digital professional portfolio. We call it a thought incubator. So that way, any projects you do, websites you develop, presentations you have. I teach a public speaking class for the iSchool students, and they have to upload at least one of their presentations on a LinkedIn, so that way employers can see their public speaking skills. I think it's really important for us to think of LinkedIn as a four-dimensional resume, right? It's really about you, your professional identity, and how your professional identity is demonstrated digitally. So let's keep that in mind. So it's not enough to just have a profile picture and have a little blurb and think that you're just going to update it every now and then, update your LinkedIn profile. Your profile needs to be complete. So Inc. magazine reported that completed profiles are 40 times more likely to show up in search results, so that when an employer or future network connector is searching for someone who knows project management or knows data analytics, the fact that your profile is complete and more full is going to allow you to show up, more likely to show up in a search result. So please go through this quite exhausting list and make sure that you have components to each one of these completed on your profile, that you have a professional photo, that you have an informative and substantive profile headline, that you have a brief but powerful and persuasive summary, that you've incorporated experiences and skills, that they can easily get in contact with you if they have to. Sometimes it's not enough to just have your SYR email available, but maybe your Gmail address available as well on there. Obviously your education, since that's where a lot of us get our professional ethos to take on our career, next career move. Key recommendations from employers, from previous supervisors, from professors, from me would even help. Keywords, so similar to a resume and cover letter, making sure that if you understand project management, agile, waterfall, that you have those keywords on your LinkedIn profile. Obviously your location, which is important, and complete your profile. Okay, and here's just a silly little illustration on this slide that shows a little bit about what a completed profile should look like. So you have to think about your value proposition, right? What is your value proposition? Similar to what are you using to sell who you are professionally? On your resume is very one-dimensional compared to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is allowing more breadth and depth of your professional character, and you really should use that. So we can think of LinkedIn as a branding tool, right? It's our online professional brand. You're going to start by, of course, having a professional photo. We'll talk about that in a minute. You want to make your headline, right? It's that title of yours. Make that pop, right? It's got to be thought-provoking. The worst ones I see tend to be, something very cliche, hardworking, dedicated, or actively seeking summer internship, which makes you sound super desperate. Avoid the, actively seeking. They know you're actively seeking. You don't want to give that away. This is your first opportunity to earn the next 20 seconds of attention to your profile. So similar to a commercial, similar to an online ad, you're trying to buy the audience's attention to go further down through your profile. You want the prospect to know exactly what you do and who you are. How are you different from others, which is a whole nother ballgame, especially to my grad students out there. And then be benefit-driven about what you do. And here are some, somewhat decent examples. Advertising, getting law firms ranked #1 in Google. If that's your goal and that's what you set yourself out to do, that's going to get a lot of attention. Maybe I am an IT consultant. Maybe I want to put conquering the IT client world. Having a little bit of alliteration in there is helpful. Mine is empowering students for career readiness, which I try to stay away from the title, right? Titles are so stupid. They're like, oh, I'm director of career services, or I'm assistant director of operations. That's great, but no one really cares about your title, on LinkedIn as much as what is it that you do? What is your purpose? So although you're assistant dean of student services, what does that actually mean? Showing who you are. I'll look at that pretty little cat up there. You want to show who you are. You don't tell who you are. If you wanted to tell me who you are, I'd be watching an elevator pitch, or I'd be looking at your resume. I want you to show me who you are. Okay, that this LinkedIn profile is your way to really illustrate your professional depth. It's not just the one-page, one-dimensional document that everyone's got to develop. This is your opportunity to really use the digital platform in a way that showcases your totality of professional, right? So have a professional profile photo. Your summary needs to answer the question, why would someone want to hire me, right? So I don't want a long summary. I don't want anything more than 4 or 5 sentences. I want something that really tells me who you are in an articulate and persuasive manner, and tell me, like, why you? What is it about you that should make me want to stay on your LinkedIn profile for much longer? Be dynamic, be creative, be authentic, be yourself. This is about you. And therefore, this really should come from your heart. I think that when people come to me and they're like, can you help me with my LinkedIn profile? And trying to sit there to help you write each little piece, it's not about me, it's about you. So come to my office, I can give you tips, but this really is about who you are as a professional. You want to hook in the recruiter similar to a cover letter. So I would recommend that summary really hook in your audience and try to keep them and maintain their attention. Write something that will persuade your audience to keep reading your profile. You want to keep earning their 30 seconds more, 30 seconds more, 30 seconds more. And then finally, use the first person when you write your summary, not third person. So often students will say, they will use their name and say, Christopher Perello is a junior at the School of Information Studies. And it sounds very detached, right? It sounds super awkward to your audience because we know it's about you, right? And so, this is social media. Yes, it's professional. We have to keep in mind that this is still social media. So you want to make sure that you are speaking from the heart authentically. Let's use the pronoun I, right? You can't do that on a resume. Do it on LinkedIn. Epic profile picture fails. This is my favorite slide, I think, out of any presentation that I show to iSchool students. Each one of these photos is either, they spell unprofessionalism, they illustrate something that's just way too informal and almost like hobby, right? We have to think of our workspace and our work life as a professional identity. And so your photo really is the face of your professional sense of self online, right? If employers are going to see who you are any of these the pictures that you want to see? I mean, I don't know about that. So let's go through this. The first one I wanted to show you is this one right here. This very like, I mean, she's basically not wearing clothes in this image, right? She's showing way too much skin. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you don't need to show that much skin, right? I mean, the pose right here with her lips, the duck face, I don't need to see that, right? Like, I don't need to see that you're trying to give some sort of silly picture like you're a supermodel, unless you are going on LinkedIn looking to be a supermodel. I mean, I don't know if you're applying to be, you know, a centerfold in a girly magazine, then I guess this works out fine. Otherwise, it's just very unprofessional, right? Like, I would want something where you're dressed more professionally and you're really trying to embody like an office environment. Now, while I give this one here high marks for the cat, not exactly professional, right? I get it. You're trying to show your diplomas and your degrees. But the fact that, again, you're showing too much skin, the cat really doesn't have anything to do with this, with your job, right? You're in energy services, you know, pipe protection. You're not working in a veterinarian clinic. Plus, it's just an unflattering photo. Next down here, this guy, it's great that you know how to play the guitar, but I can't see your face. The microphone's in the way, right? Maybe standing front facing the camera along with the guitar would do much better. And then this one down here, first of all, I have to say that I feel bad for the people who got cut off in this picture. Like, what if those are your friends and they see all of a sudden that they're cropped out of that picture? That's kind of mean. I don't know. What kind of friend are you? I don't know about that. Other than that, it's very blurry. You really can't see her face. She's sort of whitewashed in it. I think that more than anything, this has been a messy night out at the bar, and that's not someone I really want to hire for my firm. All right. So in conclusion, when you are trying to present your best sense of professional self, we start with the photo. And as much as I don't want to say we judge based on looks and aesthetics, we want your professional sense of self to be reflected in a photo that really does show you in the best light. This is not Facebook. This is not Instagram. And so keep all those sort of social photos and those selfies or profile pictures for those platforms. Here's a sample LinkedIn profile that a student has written several years ago now. And I like this because this profile summary really does showcase who this person is as a professional and where they want to go with their career. So this one says, I'm an IT support specialist who has a passion for information security. My goal in life is simple: to be the Superman of our national IT infrastructure. After graduating from Syracuse University in May, I plan on using my background in security to protect American banks and customers. So what this person is doing right is, first, they are saying exactly what they are. I am an IT support specialist. That's what this person considers themselves to be at this very moment. What their passion is, right? Information security. So I have a feeling that information security search, this will be popular for searches when firms are looking for an InfoSec specialist. This person blatantly lines out their goal in life, and then they add a little bit of humor, a little bit of sass to this. I want to be sort of the hero of our IT infrastructure. I mean, especially considering what's going on right now in our elections, so on and so forth. I think that's a big deal. People want to hire that. They're graduating this May. Oh, cool. I can hire this person in May. I can call them for an interview now, and then they'll be available in May. Last but not least, I see what they want to do, right? They want to use their background to protect American banks and consumers. Therefore, I know Bank of America, KeyBank, JP Morgan Chase, Deutsche Bank, Wells Fargo. they're going to be probably looking at this person's profile saying, we need to get this person on board. Okay, so think about your summary, not necessarily about who you are now, but where you're looking to go. All right, and think about how that can leverage you to your next professional opportunity. Here is just a sample LinkedIn profile. This is what mine looked like around this time last year. It's headshot is from the career fair. I get a new headshot every year, mine as well. I have a sort of a backdrop cover photo of the iSchool. I think it's important that every one of you has a background photo. That's super important because it's adding more personality to your profile. And if I just see that fuddy-duddy, boring, teal, blue, green backdrop that everyone else has out there, I'm not going to think that you put a lot of tender love and care in your LinkedIn profile. How's that going to translate into your body of work once you are on the job, right? So just little things like that you want to think of. I have my name there. I have my little tagline, headliner, empowering students for career readiness, and then I have my little summary there, right? I try to have a sense of humor. It may sound like I'm being sarcastic, even though I'm not when I say that I enjoy every minute of education. I believe in the power of humor and making connections to inspire personal and professional growth, because I believe in a sense of humor, right? That's part of my shtick. If you are very boring in an office, then you're not going to want to hire me. Okay, so showcasing relevant work experience. This is straight from the LinkedIn folks. When we visited their headquarters a few years ago, they cannot stand it when people show their experience in bullets. Now, while I don't necessarily agree with that, and I think that at least if you're starting to make a LinkedIn profile, bullets are fine if you're just sort of copying and pasting from your resume. But we have to keep in mind that LinkedIn is a social media platform. And so you want to seem, social, right? So by bulleting stuff, they don't feel that it's really a cohesive kind of way to communicate your background. So it should be narrative based, be clear, be brief as you can, be clear and concrete and concise, be result oriented, and use power verbs to help demonstrate your skills. So basically what you use on your resume, you want to use on LinkedIn. Focus on aspects of each position's accomplishments. Again, this is your opportunity to go beyond one-page resume. Put everything you've done on there. It's okay. And of course, be positive. Okay, so bringing vibrancy to your profile. Consider this your digital portfolio. Okay, so again, on your resume, one-page resume, I'm not able to see stuff like websites, photos, videos, speeches, performance reviews, supervisors, recommendations, that sort of thing. LinkedIn is where I can see that. As iSchool students, you guys do so many innovative projects in your classes. This should be the perfect opportunity for you to show off. I mean, so think about what you're doing in some of your classes, your electives, certainly any classes that you're doing outside of the iSchool, and think about how you can showcase some of those projects on LinkedIn. Write blog posts. I think that's a great way to get attention to your LinkedIn profile. Video clips. Provide a space for awards and honors. There's one section for courses taken. Only list industry-specific courses. Don't list history of the Protestant Reformation. Unless you're going to school to be a history teacher, nobody cares that you've taken history of the Protestant Reformation, right? Okay, let's move on. Includes organizations, volunteer, and any other projects that you've done. Any leadership opportunities are important. For my folks out there who want to join the Big Four, and really any sort of those large consulting firms or any of the big banks or investment firms, they want to see leadership. Ask for recommendations and also give recommendations, all right? So I like it when a student asks me to write them a recommendation, return the favor, right? I like them too. Okay, networking using LinkedIn. So the number one question I have from students about LinkedIn is, I don't know this person working at Deloitte, but I really want to connect with them because I'd like an internship with Deloitte. How do I do that? Well, there's a nuance to that, right? And the number one thing is that you want to make sure that you're making it as seamless and as natural as possible, right? And so we're going to talk about how to connect with people that you don't know. So first of all, don't ever invite someone to connect with you if you would not walk up to them on the street and say hello. That's like the standard rule, right? Some of you would probably walk up to the CEO of a company and say hello just because you're so ambitious, and that's great. But there's a nuance to how you connect with people. A nuance means that you always have to send a customized invitation. Write something unique, humorous, catchy, be brief, and get to the point. Right now, if I'm connecting with some of my iSchools, I see that you're an iSchool student. I'm not going to customize an invitation really to meet with you, but that's not a good habit to get into. And to practice what I preach, if I'm connecting with a colleague of mine who's maybe a professor over at Maxwell School, or if I'm connecting with a recent alumnus that I met at a networking event, of course, I'm going to include a customized invitation about where I met them, and reminding them who I am, maybe something funny about, the night we met or something like that. If you're interested in networking with someone that you don't know, ask someone to introduce you, right? So if you see that I know someone and you want to connect with them, it's much easier for me to introduce you to them because there's like a legit feature on LinkedIn that allows you to do that, rather than you awkwardly try to customize an invite and they don't connect with you, right? Because they're like, I don't know who you are, right? Or contact our school alumni office, and that's Julie Wallace upstairs on the 3rd floor. Julie Wallace is the director of alumni and student engagement, and she's always willing to put students in contact with the alumni that matter. I mean, part of what you're paying for at SU is that access to the alumni, to the very robust alumni network we have. So you want to use it, right? So if there's someone that you know that works at Microsoft that you want to get in contact with and you don't know how to network with them on LinkedIn or get in contact with them, come talk to us and we can put that conversation together. All right, so asking people to connect, here are 2 samples of what you can say to get people to connect. These are more, I guess, sort of framed as undergraduate students, but you certainly can use it no matter who you are or what school you're from. This doesn't have to apply only to iSchool students. And so I'll painfully read through this. I apologize, just because I know it's important that you guys hear this. Dear Steve, I see that you graduated from my current university, Syracuse. Go Orange. I'm an information management technology major and would be excited to hear more about your work with Dropbox. I'll be in your area in a few weeks for vacation. If you have any free time, I'd love to meet up for coffee. Thanks so much. So the reason why that works is it's not threatening, right? It's warm, it's fuzzy. You're connecting about the Syracuse Orangemen, yay, go Orange kind of thing, right? And this person is doing something that's even cooler. And that Evan is offering to buy Steve coffee, right? Now the chances of Steve actually allowing Evan to pay for the coffee is pretty slim. But the fact that Evan is offering to buy Steve coffee the next time he's in town, just so they could have like a quick coffee chat about advice, how to get in a Dropbox, what did he do when he was at SU, that sort of thing, is just so important to building those long stages of rapport with alumni to get those connections. The second one is, Dear Steve, I'm a sophomore at Syracuse studying IMT, and I'm considering a web design concentration. Came across your profile in the iSchool group, and I'm hoping you'd be willing to connect with me since I'd love to learn more about your time in an agency and as a freelancer. Thanks, Evan. Short, to the point, not begging for a job. Let's keep that in mind. You never beg for a job. You never come out and ask for an internship. You typically always want to frame this as you're seeking their advice. People love talking about themselves, and they love it when people make them feel like they're offering, their sort of number one piece of advice and how they got to Dropbox, that sort of thing. I'm not going to go through this death by PowerPoint slide, but what I will say, please don't make comments under recruiters' posts if they're asking for people interested in certain areas or positions. Email that recruiter or send them your resume and a cover letter through LinkedIn. Just don't comment, because I see it. Everyone sees it, right? That you're connected with, and you look super desperate. And it's just not a very becoming look, right? It's like, oh, poor things, bless their hearts. Like they don't know that we're all seeing that, like, I'm interested, I get it. Like that recruiter's posting a job on the LinkedIn wall, but you don't need to comment in the picture or in the post below it. Like email the recruiter separately or connect with them and do it privately. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, use the job search function. So the job and internship search tool is very robust, and it's a great way to find internships or jobs that either normally wouldn't be posted in just sort of a basic Google search, or sometimes they're not even posted on the actual website, on the hiring website for that company. You can search by keyword, city, country, zip code. So I get students who are in my office sometimes, and they're like, I really want an internship in the United Kingdom or in Hong Kong or Madrid, Spain. This LinkedIn is a great way for you to find those internships. You want to check the boxes that will help filter out your results, similar to how Handshake is set up. Save your job searches, and you can even set notification emails to be sent to you once a week, twice a week. I get them like every day, and they're super annoying. Follow and click specific companies to follow them who may be posting job openings on LinkedIn. I know Deloitte, Microsoft, Ernst & Young, Goldman Sachs, those are all companies that love to post their job ops on LinkedIn. Lastly, join groups. The iSchool has a group. Join the School of Information Studies LinkedIn group. Join alumni groups. Join Syracuse University. If you're interested in any of the consulting firms, follow them. Join their groups. It's very important for you to show that you're interested by interacting with some of these folks in these groups. Don't let your profile sit inactive. I recommend that you update your profile twice a semester. All right, so usually in the beginning of the semester and then at the end of the semester, all right, just to make sure that you're staying on top of the courses you're taking, certifications, projects, any part-time jobs or internships that you've had, that you're updating them at least twice a semester, at the least. Definitely use the project section. You can never have enough. I mean, my master's thesis is posted on LinkedIn. But use the project section, especially with some of your iSchool electives. Stay away from sensitive issues when posting or sharing. I always get a little, like, I love politics. I love it, but I love it on Facebook or on other social media platforms, right? If I wanted to read about Donald Trump or about, Bernie Sanders, I'm not going to LinkedIn for that. So please keep, the only time politics is really appropriate is if you're interning for a senator's office or, I don't know, governor's office or something like that. Other than that, nobody wants to see that on LinkedIn. Finally, share pictures, thoughts, perspectives, milestones. As long as it has to do with your professional life, share it. One thing I've learned over the last few years, and especially from the LinkedIn folks, is that they love pictures. Share pictures if you can, especially pictures from campus.